There are moments in life that split time in two, before and after death. This was one of those moments. It all started on a humid Monday morning in September at Jackson Heights Middle School, a place where the scent of freshly waxed floors battled the stench of apathy in the air. The kind of school where funding was tight, teachers were tired, and nobody really expected anything to change. Nobody except one man. He walked in just after the morning bell, young, tall, dressed in a crisp navy blazer, his shoes shining like obsidian glass. His name was Malik Johnson, and to most eyes, he looked no older than 13, maybe 14 on a good day. He carried a leather briefcase, the kind that didn't belong in a kid's hands, and his eyes scanned the classroom like he'd already seen it all before, because he had, more than once. You see, Malik wasn't a student. He was a new principal, the youngest ever in the district, a Harvard-educated, policy-rewriting, community-rooted prodigy who returned to his hometown under one condition. He'd start his first day incognito, to observe without bias, to walk the halls, sit in classrooms, and see how students, especially black students, were being treated. So today, Malik Johnson played the role of the new transfer kid. The class he walked into belonged to Miss Cartwright, an English teacher with 30 years under her belt and a chip on her shoulder big enough to knock down hope. She was the type who still made kids read out loud so she could mock their stutters, who said things like, "I don't see color," but only called on the white kids. She looked up at Malik and immediately frowned. "You're late," she snapped. "Name." "Malik," he said simply. "No last name. No smile. Figures," she muttered under her breath, loud enough for a few snickers to ripple through the room. She looked him up and down. A black boy in polished dress shoes and a blazer? Clearly, he didn't fit the script in her head. "Well, Malik," she said, dragging out the name like it left a bad taste in her mouth. "Take a seat. And don't think those fancy clothes make you special. In this room, respect is earned, not worn." He didn't flinch. He sat in the back, quiet, watching, listening. The class was discussing To Kill a Mockingbird. Ironic, really. Ms. Cartwright read passages aloud with the dramatics of a failed stage actress, then asked leading questions like, "Now, why do you think people like Tom Robinson always end up in trouble?" "People like?" Malik asked, raising an eyebrow. "Oh, you know what I mean. Those who don't fit in. Trouble just finds them." The room grew tense. Malik leaned forward slightly. "You mean black men?" Ms. Cartwright flushed. "Don't twist my words. This is a literature class, not a debate club." But Malik didn't back down. He asked real questions. Why are all the examples of bad choices in the book black characters? Why does empathy always seem to stop at the color line? He pushed, gently but with precision. And each time, Ms. Cartwright grew more defensive. "Maybe you'd learn more if you stopped trying to argue with authority," she spat. "Authority without justice is just control," Malik replied, without raising his voice. The room went silent. That's when she lost it. "You know what? Maybe this school isn't the right fit for you. Maybe that's why kids like you always end up in detention, or worse." She was standing now, red-faced, eyes wide. Some of the students looked down. Others looked stunned. One girl whispered, "She's really going off," under her breath. "Get out." Malik slowly stood, calm, unshaken. He adjusted his blazer and stepped to the front of the room. "I think it's time we had a real lesson." He reached into his briefcase and pulled out a folder. On the front, the school crest. Inside, an official district letterhead. "My name is Dr. Malik Johnson, and I'm the new principal of Jackson Heights. I wanted to experience this school the way a student would. And today I saw exactly what too many of our students, especially students of color, go through." Ms. Cartwright's face went white. He looked around the room, not in anger, but with the tiredness of someone who's seen too much too soon. This classroom isn't broken because of a few bad apples. It's broken because the tree is sick, and it's our job to heal it, not chop down the branches that don't look like us. He turned to the students. "You deserve better. And starting today, we're going to do better." The school buzzed with the story by noon. Ms. Cartwright was placed on immediate administrative leave pending investigation. Some parents called an outrage, not because Malik had exposed racism, but because he had humiliated a veteran teacher. But many more called in support. Stories poured in from alumni, former students, even janitors, all echoing the same truth. She had been like this for years, and no one ever had the power or courage to call her out. Until now, Malik spent the next weeks holding listening circles with students, rewriting disciplinary policies, hiring more diverse staff, and creating spaces where truth wasn't punished, it was honored. What happened in that classroom wasn't just about one teacher. It was about a system, a culture, a silent agreement to look away when bias walked in wearing authority. But Malik didn't just walk into that classroom. He walked into history. Because sometimes the most powerful way to dismantle a system is to sit quietly inside it, let it show its true face, then stand up and say, "Not anymore.